Aunt Moo will show you how to process bananas. We're using fully ripe Namor bananas like this. The peel can be a bit dark, that's fine, but don't use bananas with completely black peels. If the peel is just bruised and dark, it's still okay. But if it's all black, that's the kind for making wine, and the wine will turn out sour. We're using one bunch of bananas, whether small or large. Let's count the bananas, friends. We're using 12 bananas for today's recipe. We're going to make banana honey wine. You can use any kind of honey for this. I'm using honey that's meant for baking, and it gives a lovely sweet aroma and flavor. Now, let's look at the steps. For today's recipe, we're using white granulated sugar and 1 liter of water. We'll take 1 liter of water and boil it to dissolve the sugar first. I'll skip over this step for now, friends. Right now, I'm 1 kilogram of sugar with 1 liter of water. Boil the sugar until it dissolves and becomes syrup like this. Next, let's move on to the following step. We're going to peel and slice the bananas into the basin with the sugar syrup because this will keep the bananas from turning black. If you're making this at home, boil the sugar like this first until it dissolves. Then slice the bananas and add them in. The syrup will coat the bananas and prevent them from turning black. If you just slice the bananas and leave them in a bowl, if they're exposed to air, they'll turn black and look unappetizing. Slice them straight into the syrup so they get coated with sugar. Let's finish slicing the bananas. Now we're done. We'll turn on the stove. We turn the stove back on to bring the sugar syrup to a boil again. Once it boils, you can turn off the heat right away. This step doesn't take long because we already dissolved the sugar earlier. After you add the sliced bananas, just turn the heat back on to bring it to a boil one more time. And that's it. For this recipe, we use white granulated sugar because we want the syrup to come out clear and beautiful. See how nice and clear it looks? Now the syrup is boiling again. With an electric stove, it only takes a moment to boil. After adding the bananas to the syrup and turning the stove on, boil for about 3 to 5 minutes. You can time it if you want. Once the water starts boiling and you see bubbles rising, turn off the heat. We've already turned off the stove. Now, we'll let the water we used to boil the bananas cool down first before moving on to the next step. Aunt Moo will update you. Right now, we've let the water cool down to room temperature. Now we'll move on to the next step. We're going to add 500 milliliters of honey. You can use any type of honey you like. This one is wild honey from the 5th month. I'll be using 500 milliliters, so let's pour it in at this stage. We've poured in the honey. Next, add water. The rest is drinking water. We'll use 4 liters, so pour it in. Stir the mixture until everything is well combined. Once it's mixed thoroughly, the next step is to add the yeast. Pour some water into a small bowl like this. I'll use 1 teaspoon of yeast using a measuring spoon and pour it into the bowl with the water we set aside. Mix it together and then let the yeast activate for a bit. While we're waiting for the yeast to work, we'll go ahead and pour the water into the fermentation tank. We're fermenting it with the banana pulp. Now we've poured water into the fermentation tank. Our yeast has risen nicely. See it? When yeast looks fluffy like this, it's ready to use. If yeast is expired, it's easy to tell. The water you use to test it will stay clear, and the yeast granules will just sink to the bottom. But if it rises and gets foamy, you can pour it into the tank right away. We pour in the yeast. Friends, make sure to close the tank lid tightly first, then shake the tank. Shaking the tank helps increase the oxygen inside, and it also helps the yeast spread out and work faster. After shaking the tank, loosen the lid halfway like this. Just like that is enough. Once you've loosened the lid, Don't forget to write a sticker and stick it on, labeling it as Banana Beetle Honey Wine and Moo, brewed on March 6th. We'll ferment it at room temperature for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I'll come back and update you on how it's going. We'll see just how delicious, fragrant, and sweet our banana honey wine is, and Moo will update you soon. Today, we're giving you an update on the banana honey wine. It's been fermenting for 20 days. Now, the yeast has stopped, so we'll separate the sediment and filter it. Let's strain it through a sieve. We won't use these dregs. We'll just throw them away. Today, Aunt Moo will teach you how to fix the taste. If you fermented it a long time like Aunt Moo, about 15 to 20 days, the yeast will have consumed all the sugar. There won't be any sweetness left. It'll taste bitter and astringent, but you will get alcohol. To fix the bitterness and astringency, we'll add granulated sugar. If yours is only a little bitter and astringent, add 30 grams. If it's very bitter and astringent, add 50 grams. Alright, today, Aunt Moo is going to add 30 grams. You can use either white granulated sugar or brown sugar. Just look at the color of the wine as your main guide. Actually, you can use brown sugar, but if you want the wine color to not be too dark, then use white sugar like I do. Just pour in 30 grams and turn on the stove. After pouring in the sugar, quickly stir it, everyone. Otherwise, the sugar will stick to the bottom of the pot and it'll burn and smell bad. When it comes to kneading, having a thermometer is absolutely essential. We use a thermometer and you need to keep stirring the mixture so the heat rises evenly. Our thermometer uses an infrared system. The temperature will gradually increase like this. We're going to kill the yeast at 40 degrees Celsius. So keep stirring and measuring until it reaches exactly 40 degrees Celsius. See, the temperature will gradually rise like this. If you do it this way, there won't be any mistakes. The thermometer reads 40.4 degrees Celsius. Perfect. Let's turn off the stove. We've already turned off the stove. Now, I'll immediately remove the pot of wine from the stove because the stove still retains heat. Take it off the stove and let it cool down to room temperature before pouring it into the fermentation container. Never pour it in while the wine is still hot, as this will create steam and cause a white haze during fermentation, and the wine could end up smelling bad. I'll come back to update you once the wine has cooled to room temperature. We've let the banana mead rest until it reaches room temperature and can pour it into the fermentation container. Now we've poured the wine into the fermentation container. Next, I'm going to show you how to add yeast in 2 steps. First, we'll add potassium metabisulfite. This helps preserve the aroma and prevents it from changing too much. For this batch, we'll add 2 heaping teaspoons, just like this. Put them straight into the container. Here we go, 2 teaspoons right into the container. This substance dissolves pretty easily. Remember, all chemicals can be dangerous. Do not inhale it and keep it out of reach of children. After adding the KMS, close the lid of the container tightly. We'll let it ferment at room temperature for about 7 days. However, after 2 nights of fermenting, check the container. If you press on the lid and it sinks in like this, it means you can continue fermenting for the full period. But if the container is swollen and you can't press it down, the container is really hard and no matter how you press, it won't go down. Loosen the lid slightly, and then you can continue fermenting. We'll ferment at room temperature for 7 days. Once the 7 days are out, I'll update you on how much I like the taste of the banana honey wine. Please stay tuned. Today, Aunt Moo is here to give you an update on the banana honey wine. Friends, we've been fermenting it for 10 days now. Friends, look, we've got such clear banana wine like this, see? You can siphon it again, friends. We need to keep it at room temperature and place it somewhere calm and undisturbed, like on a shelf where it won't get bumped, or on a table where no one will walk into it or open a door into it. That way, the wine will settle and clarify faster. Today, I'm going to show you how to bottle the wine by adding potassium sorbate. Potassium sorbate comes in little stick-like granules, kind of like sugarcane pieces. We'll use it just like in Aunt Moo's video. For bottles sized 300 to 500 milliliters, we'll use 1 spoonful of sorbate. Just scoop 1 spoonful and put it directly into the bottle. Now, watch how to lift the wine. We'll lift the wine container by bracing our wrist so that the wine sediment doesn't get stirred up. That way, we'll get clear wine. Just pour it in. Okay, all done. Now you can put the cap on the bottle. Here, we're going to write a sticker and put it on to label what this is, okay? Because I've only shown you one bottle as an example. If you make it yourself at home, you can set the bottle up and add the soda and pour the clear water in until it's all gone. You have to lift it gently like the monks taught. We won't pour out the sediment at the bottom of the bottle. Some people see the sediment at the bottom of the bucket and say, "Oh, it's cloudy and not appetizing. I'll pour it out." We already missed it. What a shame. This is also the bottom of the barrel. This one is apple wine, guys. Take a look. This is the bottom of the barrel that I poured out and kept, then totally forgot about. The aging time for this batch was about a month. Look at how clear the wine we got is. At the bottom, that's sediment, see? And on top, we have clear wine. The amount increased to 500 milliliters. We're not going to pour it all out. At this stage, we just tilt the bottle and pour, just like tilting a container. Once we reach the sediment, then we carefully pour that part out because it can't settle any further. This is already the bottom of the barrel. Today, we're going to try tasting the honey fermented banana wine to see how much we like the flavor. Guys, what do you think? Does Aunt Moo's wine look drinkable? This is sweet banana wine. Now, Aunt Moo is going to taste it. Oh wow, guys, I have to say this one is really intense. It has the sweetness of bananas because I used very ripe bananas, and you also get the fragrant, sweet flavor from wild honey. Any kind of wild honey works. Just don't use the really old, stored kind, because that will make it too bitter and the wine will turn dark, guys. Some people say, "Oh, I have honey that's been stored for 5 or 10 years. Can I use it?" But honestly, it's not appetizing. It will make your wine turn dark and murky. Banana wine is another great option for farmers to process their crops and add more value. I have to say, if you follow this recipe exactly, the taste will be spot on. I've shared all the proportions with you. I've explained the steps clearly, so if you follow my recipe exactly, you'll get high-quality wine just like this. If you've watched my video and found it enjoyable and helpful, please give it a like to support me. Feel free to share this post as much as you can so that other members can also learn the correct way to make wine. That's all for this video. Until we meet again, goodbye.